I've got quite a bit to say.
All right, I'm going to do the 40-second countdown to give us time. Hello, everybody, and well, I can't say welcome to a good show, but welcome to Chance's Chat. We are here for information purposes only, and other than that, welcome to Chance's Chat. I'm Doc G. Last name Brian. Maybe Wyatt will join us, and I give you Chance McFadden.
Hi, guys. I owe you guys some explanations, so I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to be a little narcissistic. The first 5 minutes or so is going to be about me. Monday night, I was sitting on the couch with Megan, and all the dogs attacked her. I had to cover her with my body. They were violently attacking her. I was on the floor. I was praying to Jesus to help us. Finally, after what seemed forever, Dottie, shut up. I'm here. Finally, after what seemed forever, Jody showed up, and she got them separated, and we took Megan to the vet. We gave her something to be comfortable. I stayed with her up until the time that she had surgery, and I was absolutely certain that the vet was going to be able to pull her through. And the surgery was a success, and the patient died. And I have been, for the last 3 days, it's Tuesday, so since Tuesday morning, all I've been doing is crying, throwing up, and trying to keep myself busy with work. And not being very successful on the work thing. We are getting some work done. Tim, my handy guy, we're getting some work done, and I'm on Jody's house and here. But I'm trying to concentrate on that, and I didn't want to do a show tonight, but I feel like you guys, I owed you something. And now I know I have to do a show tonight because I got some very, very important, crucial information for anybody who could be mistaken as an illegal. So that would be the entire Hispanic community and anybody that could be considered a illegal, whether they look like it or not. It's very important. I'm going to share that with you in a few minutes. It's basically a danger, Will Robinson thing, and nobody's got this information. It just was given to me by Wendy out in California, and I was just absolutely appalled. I was actually thinking about canceling, but I thought, no, I've got to tell people about this. I've got to tell you about it. So,
I guess
He froze. I got to say, guys, I've got some storm issues here in New Jersey. It's second day, tornado warnings and a lot of wind and a lot of things. So if you lose me or lose Chance, that's what's wrong. Go ahead, Brian. You can take over while he comes back.
Okay. So when Chance gets back, I'll let him continue. But for right now, let's talk about the weather and everything that's going on and what we're seeing and experiencing. So let's use some common sense and some critical thinking. We know Oh, he's coming back. Go ahead, Chance.
Hold
Sorry.
on. Go ahead. Go ahead, Chance.
Okay, we're having signal problems in New Jersey because there's a bad storm there. Sorry to interrupt you, Brian. I appreciate you stepping in. I got to get all this stuff out of my system, okay? If I start to break down or throw up or do my depression thing, I will stop my camera and mute, and Brian and Doc or Wyatt, if he's here, will take over. But this is the I have good news and I have bad news, okay? And I don't like bringing bad news to the show. I don't like it on the channel. Bernadette, thank you for your comments. I don't bringing it on the Telegram channel, but I'm going to do it anyway. Tonight, I want to tell you the bad news first, okay? First of all, that's what's going on with me and Megan. And to finish the story with Megan, we picked her up, my daughter, my friend Tim, and I couldn't handle it. And Tim dug the grave, and we put her in a nice grave with a nice pink blanket and everything. And before we left the vet's office, I'm just sitting there bawling like a 2-year-old.
We
Okay,
lost him again. Yeah, lost him again. Go ahead.
that's fine. So, shifting gears once again, you all need to understand that, yes, from one perspective, none of this has to be this way. Okay? But from a greater source, you have to also understand it's this way because it's to get the source in each individual being. Okay, back to Chance. Go ahead, Chance.
So
Go ahead, Chance.
I was bawling at the counter. Sorry for the interruptions, folks. It's a storm in New Jersey, and I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Brian. I just got to get my crap out of my head.
Okay.
I apologize to everybody. But I'm sitting there bawling at the counter at the veterinarians, and Jody and Tim are taking care of Megan, and I had no control over myself. And then insult to injury. Oh, and by the way, we're sorry your puppy died, but you still owe us $1,000. What are you going to do about that? Okay. Is that the time to approach somebody when they're in emotional distress about money? Okay, I'm just asking you. Is that the right thing to do? I wanted to go back there and just slap the woman. I really did. But I was so overwhelmed with grief, and I still am. So a few of you people have been just absolutely wonderful. I haven't asked for any help with her donations for her bill, but thank you for the ones that have sent donations. I appreciate it. It's more than I could ever tell you. I feel like I'm walking through life in a Jello mold. Everything I do is so hard to do. It's so hard. If you just imagine living in Jello, how you would have to move. Everything's slow motion. That's the way I'm feeling. I'm trying to fight it, Brian. I'm trying to fight it. Everybody that's been giving me encouragement and prayers, I'm trying to fight it. But you just don't know what that dog meant to me. And if you forget what that dog meant to me, go back a year ago when she was injured and watch the shows.
So he froze again, but I'm going to tell you one thing. I know he's fighting it, and when he gets back on, I'll probably have to repeat this part. Resistance can be your worst enemy, just so you know, because you are causing yourself energetic resistance. You're fighting a part of these energy fields or an emotional state that you just can't control. Usually the best solution is to go with the flow. Let it flow out of you. Even if it's you have to keep letting it flow and let it flow and let it flow. You don't have to necessarily understand every element that has taken place, that has shaped the rhyme or the reason. It doesn't matter if, and I did talk to Chance, and I explained, look, a very complex mechanism and formula. And I said, this world isn't necessarily how and what you think it is.
I'll go along.
Go ahead.
I'll go along with that. I'll go along with that, Brian. It's really not necessarily what you think it is, but we must persevere to move forward, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm persevering to move forward. I know there's so many people here that depend on me, and I get exclusive information that other people just don't get. Now, before I get into the bad news, the negative stuff, I want to tell you what happened to three friends of mine. Three friends of mine in another group. And sometimes I sit in their calls. I'm not going to tell you where the group's from, because if they happen to be watching, then they would know I'm talking about them. But they are in a group, okay? And they're supposed to go in to Atlanta, Georgia, okay? And just one or two people are supposed to go in and cash in for everybody. It's not the way it works. And this one woman is telling them lies and says she's bonded and everything like that. Show me the bond. Show me the proof that you are who you say you are. And it's obviously not a Republic Treasury bonded Republic group. Okay? And the leader of this group is so desperate for money that he's willing to risk 5 or 6 people's money, currency, just to fulfill this dream scenario that these other people have given him. Everything, the information that he's been given is hearsay and conjecture. And I had a talk with 2 of the people last night, and I said, and one of the guys, we'll just call him Batman. I was talking to Batman, and Batman said, I said, well, where's your currency? And he says, well, I sent it to a lawyer out in California. And I go, oh my God. I said, Batman, I said, you don't have your currency. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. And I'm gonna bet you can't get it back. You cannot take people's words.
Go ahead, Brian.
Okay. So, yeah, and we've talked about that. We talked about being in charge, being sovereign, being an entity, like an entity that is willing to walk for themselves in a singular manner. So if you are that type of individual that is willing to give yourself, give your power, you're going to get what you're going to get, and you can't complain. So when he comes back, he'll continue to tell his story. And again, I'm shifting gears right back to the other idea that I wanted to give credence to. So my guides are presenting this idea once again as an opportunity. You are in a very multidimensional, layered cake. Just take away time, take away distance, take away space. Okay? Now, if you can imagine this cake in extremely fine paper, thin sheets, and then you imagine quantum layers of energy on those sheets, and you just keep stacking, So that means you're stacking physical existences of, go ahead.
Okay. The scammers are out and about. I'm getting knocked off all the time. I don't know why. I got a great signal here. I got a great signal on this end. But the scammers are out and about. They're trying to do everything they can to get your money. And they have been playing the long game with this particular group that I know of. And some of the people don't even hold their currency. And I'm just thinking, okay, if you're dealing with anybody, documentation. Okay? You need to realize this is here's the thing. And the number one people you cannot trust is the law and the government, because of the transitional period we are in. You cannot trust them. Now I'm going to tell you what law enforcement is doing. They have no more access to the Seskakavai accounts. It's cut off. Okay? It's completely cut off. The sheriffs can't tap into it. The judges can't tap into it. The clerks can't tap into it. The police can't tap into it. Because that, they got to use their operating budget. They have no more slush funds. So how are they making their money? They're arresting you on every charge they can get, and each charge has got a very high bond. And you've got to post that bond to get out. And if you don't post that bond, they're probably going to kick you out after 2 weeks anyway, because they can't afford to feed you. Okay? But here's the thing. Like poor Jaggers in prison. He's in prison. Like, he's a 17-year-old kid. He don't deserve to be in prison. What is the matter with these people? They keep thinking his grandma's going to get him out with money, and she doesn't have any money. I mean, here's the thing. The people that we depended on to secure our safety are the ones that we got to be scared of. They're all Freemasons. Now watch me knock out because I said Freemason on here. But they're all these cops and bar attorneys are all Freemasons. Okay? Remember how George Carlin said it's a big club and you're not part of it?
You ain't in it, yeah.
You're not in it. Okay? Well, guess what? He's right. And I just want you all to listen, stay at home. Don't go on vacation. Have a staycation. Stay at home. Don't go out and do anything. Now, why am I saying this? Why am I saying something as ridiculous as this? Am I fear-mongering? No. But I am going to tell you what is going on in part of the spiritual realm. Okay? Because I just got, if I can get on my phone. Oh my God, I can't get on my phone now. My email's not wanting to pop up. I better reboot my phone. Anyway, communicated indirectly to me from Kent Dunn is something that he talked about. Brian, you may be familiar with this or not, but what's going on now and why everything is such a shit show all across the world, everywhere you go, is because the Gog and the Magog war is going on right now. Now, if you don't know what that is, that's GOG and MAGOG, okay? Remember what Q said? Israel will be the last to fall. This all has to do with Gog and Magog. I was trying to pull up some interesting notes that I had saved on my phone. I'm afraid to touch my computer. But anyway, I'll see if I can pull them up and read them to you, because it's very important that you folks understand this. Okay, this is why things seem to be not happening, but they are happening. I'm going to get that. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. Okay. Okay. Kent said to tell everyone to stay neutral and not get angry or tied to any particular narrative. Stay neutral. That just came in. Okay, from Kent. All right. Here's the synopsis. This is the synopsis. There's a lot more to this. Do your own research. In synopsis, the War of Gog and Magog is a complex and multifaceted prophetic event with various interpretations, but it generally depicts a future conflict involving a powerful enemy attacking Israel. And my phone went off until I can't. Now my phone just went dead. There it is. And until source, God, intervenes and ends it. Okay. Until involving a powerful enemy attacking Israel with God ultimately intervening to bring about their defeat. That is the summary, the Reader's Digest version. Read more on it. Google it. Do your own research. Okay. Now, we all know that ICE is going batshit crazy. Sorry for the language. That's all I can say. And I'm going to explain to you now the bad news. It's not bad news. It's horrific news. And I don't need to be talking about horrific news after what I've just went through. But I'm going to. Wendy, to be forewarned, Wendy supplied this information tonight. She's getting me videos, and I'll play them next week on the show. ICE agents, the bad ones, the ones that are working for the deep state, are picking up anybody that looks Hispanic, and they're carting them away, sending them back to their home country, whether they're a naturalized or American-born citizen or not. If you look like an immigrant or a Hispanic or Venezuelan or something like that, if you look like that, stay home. Stay out of sight. Prayers, positive energy, because they're picking people up, whether they got a green card or not, whether they're a citizen or not, whether they have a driver's license or not, and they're sending them back to Mexico on a plane. Kinda. Until they open the doors to the plane and they push them out.
I think it's more than that, though, Chance. I think they're short on a specific product they get from the human's essence, in truth, and they're using that as a cover to replenish their product. So let's think logically speaking. If you notice that there are more females missing than males, more kids, that's a question you should be adhering to. So it's got to be more.
Well, 20 girls were found missing after the floods in Texas. Everybody knows that. Now I've heard the count is up to 60, and not just girls, but no men, but just women and children. Okay, that product, we all know what that product is that they're running short of. Okay, yeah. And everything is in desperation mode. Now I want to talk about the fake Mr. T for a minute. Okay, because we all know that Mr. T is 6'3". He's not the 5'10" guy that we're seeing on TV and the guy wearing the hat. Okay. And I said this on Sunday's chat. I didn't have a chat Tuesday, but I said this on Sunday's chat. And they're letting him do something for a reason. The real Mr. T, who's secluded in the mountain, is letting him play this out for a reason. And don't forget the Simpson prophecy of August 12th of Mr. T being dead. Well, which Mr. T is that? Because we already know of at least 3 that have been showing up in public, and the one that's not showing up in public. And we already know about the robot, Mr. T. We already know about that. It's been proven. Okay. Now, so what does all this mean? Well, this means this is probably the largest black swan event that you're ever going to see. I want you to stay at home. Safe at home, baseball rules, guys. I want you to stay home. If you're planning on going to the state fair or the county fair, bring every damn family member with you and tie your kids to your hands if you have to. I mean, you think I'm kidding? I'm not. I am so happy that my granddaughter is right up here in this apartment up here, because I can keep a real close eye on her. Okay. And she doesn't go any place except to her friend's house, which is 2 blocks over, and she goes over to her dad's house, which is on the other side of town. I'm aware of it, and she doesn't know it, but I'm tracking herself. So when she goes to sell lemonade, I'm watching that. Okay, so but anyway, you gotta. It doesn't matter where you're from. It could be Podunk, Iowa. It could be New Jersey. It could be Boston. It could be anywhere. Australia. They're desperate. They are absolutely desperate. And people that you think are not Freemasons are Freemasons. I'm not going to say the guy's name, but there was a very famous guitar player that supposedly died, and he showed back up as an actor, and the only way that happens is if he was a Freemason. So and I know quite a bit about this particular artist's life because we share the same birthday. So how he could fake his own death and go off someplace and abandon his mother and his brother and his girlfriend. There's something in these people's heads that aren't wired right. You think they're a certain way. You think these are superstars. They're artists that are above and beyond, and we admire them so much. They're not. They're not. They're just people. They go to the bathroom just like we do. They put their pants on one leg at a time. Do not idolize these people. You can enjoy their works, but don't idolize them. Don't do it, because there's a dark, dark cloud right now over a lot of areas in the world on the realm. But there's also very positive and wonderful things happening. Unfortunately for me, all I'm experiencing is negativity. And when somebody sends me a word of encouragement, I really appreciate it. I know I'm going to get through this. I know so many of you guys depend on me, and Brian and Doc G and Wyatt and the Stem Cell Girls and Doc Wiedemann. I know this is the whole team here, but to throw people out of a plane, and they got videos of it, and I've got the videos coming, so we'll show them next week, and it's this is a mad world, but I think what we're experiencing is multiple black swan events because there is things happening. There's scammers happening, but there's also things happening in Reno. The group that I talked about earlier that's getting scammed, they've only got one person to talk up for them, and that's me. There's a procedure to going to your RV appointment. And everything about their procedure is bullshit. Okay? It's bullshit. I want to see agreements with the Republic Treasury. I want to see if these people are bonded. I want to see their bond. I want to call the bonding company and verify that they are bonded and it's not a fake document. I want to see documentation because everything this group is going through is conjecture and hearsay, and that's what you've got to do. Now, we've got somebody in our group, in our Telegram group. I'm not going to mention her name. Very nice lady. I have a hard time understanding her because she's, I think she's Haitian, but she's a very nice lady. And she says, Chance, would you please help my sister get her currency back? She gave it to a woman. So I called her and she says, yeah, they've got my currency and I can't get a hold of her to get it back. Don't give your currency to anybody. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Your silver, your copper, your gold. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Do you understand? Okay. I got a couple of music stores around here that said, Chance, you got a lot of guitars. Why don't you consign some of them to us? Well, because if I consign it to you, I'm not holding it and I don't own it. I may not be doing great shakes in the music store business, but I am be damned if any of my inventory is going to go off my premises. You understand? If you do not hold it, you do not own it. Possession is 9/10 of the law. How many times you heard that? Okay. I've been helping people with immigration problems that are residents. They're legal residents. And actually, they're in danger. They're in danger. Okay? If you want a private, if you think that you're in danger, you think something's going to happen with your status, give me a call. I've got some, not all, but I've got some solutions. We'll have to have a consultation. A half-hour consultation is $50. And I've got some solutions. I was able to help this lady today in California. And she says, you mean it's that easy? And I said, yeah, it's that easy. Well, how do you know? I said, because I've got a friend of mine who was born in the United States. He just happens to be Hispanic. And he's married 3 different women to get them their citizenships. And he has to stay married to them for like 4 years or something like that. So he's been married like 3 different women, friends with benefits or whatever you want to call it. But they got naturalized, they're all legal. And that's one of the solutions. So if they're naturalized or if they were born in the United States and you got proof of that, all you have to do is go out and marry somebody. Then they have to leave you alone. But with this deep state stuff, that doesn't protect the children. You've got to protect children. You've got to protect the children. Yeah. And it's just like, I felt so bad for this guy I was calling Batman. He's older than me and he's a great guy. He's a great guy, a friend of mine. And I've been on conference calls with him and I said, Batman, you don't have your currency? No, but we sent it to this attorney out in California. I said, get it back. I said, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And there is none even I have to go through the redemption process through the sovereign group when it's my time. Even though I've already got my paperwork in, already been approved, I still have to go through the process. I still have to have my receipts. I still have to have my trusts. I still have to have everything I need to go through the 9 tables of verification. And the last table is when you get your QFS card. And they do an ear scan, an eye scan, a vibrational scan, a voice scan, any kind of scan that they can do to verify you. And don't ever lose that card because they ain't getting another one. Okay? So I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to tell you, even I've got to go through that process, even though I'm in a sovereign group. All right. So it's no different. And the last thing they said was, well, they're getting this special something Visa card that's tied to the QFS. No, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. There's no special Visa card that's tied to the quantum financial system. No, that is a lie. Your quantum financial card is the last thing you get at the end of your appointment, along with a little cash, $4,500 to $8,000 is what I was told. And then you take that quantum financial card and you go to your wealth management center, not a bank, and you wealth management center with your trust, and you set it up, or trusts if you have multiple trusts, and you set it up. Okay, then you take whatever you want, 100,000, a million, whatever out, and set up your banking account. Now, here's another lie that this group was told. So if any of these, if you are with a group and you're not sure of the authenticity of this group, listen to some of the things I'm telling you. Okay, well, this is one of the things that this scammer's telling this group. Well, Trump says not everybody's going to get to go, and because they're limited on digital dollars. Did you get that, Brian? Wait a minute. How can you? Okay. If you have the final number of the universe is 70 gazillion. Well, wait a minute. What about 70 gazillion one? There is no end to digital dollars. Okay. Do you understand? It's whether they're backed or not. And they're saying that Trump said this. If you've got a group leader that's telling you this kind of crap, you need to get your money and run as fast as you can away from them. I will be posting the 800 numbers at chancemcfadden.com. I'm trying to save you guys. The 800 numbers should come out when the EBS, the EAS, Emergency Alert System and Emergency Broadcast System, it'll come out when that happens. Anything else is fake. You don't get your quantum financial card now. You do not send it up. You do not cash in your Trump bucks or your Trump coins. You don't do any of that. That's all bullshit. Okay?
Please stop posting it on Chance's chat too. It's degrading. This is my personal opinion. Stop posting things of the quantum financial cards. You don't know. Okay? It doesn't help. You're advertising something that has no boundaries. It's unknowable. Why do it? You're facilitating and layering the illusion and giving potentially false opium, among other things. Why show it? Why show the med beds? I'm just trying to give you ideas. There's a lot of things. Yes, we like to show great things that are supposed to be vibrant, supposed to be, for humanity. But here's the downside. There's a win factor, right? Linear time. We don't know when the products come out. And most likely, because we don't know this when, and we've been in the win factor for years, and everyone still shows a lot of the same jargon. It degrades the frequency of the individual because now they're no longer in hopefulness. They shifted down to the what if. And then the what if becomes the not. You notice the pattern, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're facilitating, for better or worse, yes, you're beholden to an idea, but you're giving it idolization. Think about that for a sec. It's better, and I'm going to use Batman again because I love Batman. And what is Batman's superpower? He's an investigator. Investigate what you post, give it credence. Don't just throw it out there because it looks beautiful, it looks nice, it's got rainbows and unicorns or unikitties, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Do some actual due diligence, vet it, then after you've spent enough time, and again, you're like, oh my God, but that's going to take hours. It could even take days. So what? So what? You should want to vet your very own ideas because then that means you're working within the realm of the chances chat. You're all taking part and putting on your own bat suit. You're typing on your own, bat like cave monitor computers, your quantum system, and you're just doing yourself due diligence. And then you go, okay, it seems pretty solid. Or you ask about it. No one asks questions, in my personal opinion, from a very broad scope of ideas. These ideas get posted like there's a missing element of communication with a lot of the ideas because we don't know if a lot of the ideas are good or not. Not to say that me seeing a lot of the holistic ideas, because a lot of the holistic ideas I actually copy paste and I try them out to see if they work, or I look into them and I take a deeper dive just so I can have a better understanding. And then if I need to research a certain part of my body, like my hair, because my hair thins, that's why I wear a hat. So if there's something I want to improve on, I need to take charge, physical action. So to take a step back, because Michael, I'm talking about Big Mike up there, he's kind of saying, don't forget to give them a clever idea. He's saying, be more spiritual warrior like. He says you can do it. Everyone, anyone could do it. He'll give you a simple idea. You know that this idea of the cloud seeding is a part of the psychological warfare. Why don't you send a call out, a clarion call? Say, hey, I need some warriors to nip that shit down and make sure that those that are innocent are safe, secure, and accounted for well in advance. It's called working the magic, the energy, the source within you. Just so you know, I'm actually not talking. He's given me the information and he's bringing it out. Why don't you do that? So there's a lot of ideas you could do to better your circumstances. It's all frequency. It all has power. You are the magician. Be the magician. Your words carry something you could never adhere or totally understand because he understands it at a very intimate level. You may not, but you have to trust in the multidimensional source that you are. If you could only speak with clarity, with certainty, with empowerment of your core being, your powerhouse source that you are will keep you in the desired realm you're meant to be in, not the demonic realm you're currently experiencing. And yes, he agrees with me. This is a very demonic realm. It's a very, very demonic realm because of all the ideas that have transpired. And he's not even saying just down here. He means for hundreds of thousands of years. Hundreds of thousands of years, there has been this unpresiding, usurping entities, even outside the scope of our planet, and they kind of taken root in our branch of our little tree planet here. So our branch. So if you want to change, be empowered, use the words. Do not use words that are wishy-washy. Do not use words that have no value. Don't even use words that give the idea of a what if. You have to be certain. You have to know your own core, or it won't work.
Brian, you hit the nail directly on the head with Thor's hammer. Okay. The power is in the words. Okay. Now I'm going to explain something to you that a lot of people that I just had explained to me. And it was from somebody that I trust a lot. When you're calling upon in your prayers, in your positive energy, when you're calling upon the Lord is not Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is not even Jesus Christ. I say it because that's a force of habit. Yahweh and Yeshua. That's who you need to pray to, give your positive energy to. The Lord refers to Baal. He is the Jesus of the Catholic religion. Now watch us get kicked off now because I said that. Okay. Baal. He's a I think he's number 3 level demon in hell. That's who. And when you end a prayer with amen, you're talking to an Egyptian god. God's name is not God. God in Jesus' name is Yahweh, the breath.
It's not Amen, it's Amen. Amen is the name of the God.
Right. You're right.
Amen. Yeah.
But the proper way to end a prayer is with hallelujah, not with amen.
Or so it is. It needs to reflect now moment.
The power in the words, power in the vibration, power in what you say. Brian is dead on. He hit the nail on the head, and you've got to say the right words. You've got to say the right numbers. You've got.
Oh, he paused. So there's one thing that Michael wanted to say for sure about the energy. You don't need to be positive. You have to state the statement. So it's not that the positive that, being positive is important. Being positive is, again, I'm still kind of like going by what he's saying. He's saying positivity is for your self-development. It is for your self-growth. So when you're raising your vibration for that positive aspect, that's for you to attune. But when he says, when you're sending a call for aid or a call for help, you're turning off positivity. You're turning on more of a statement or status. So if you turn on the warrior frequency, you're saying, I don't consent. I'm sending aid. Please, those of you that recognize this clarion call, because this is a spiritual war, I'm calling upon Archangel warriors to go there and destroy, ascertain, or rescue. So you want to make sure you state this statement from a very solid core of your principles as someone who understands what it means to be a warrior on this game board. You could go ahead, Chance.
You are a warrior on this game board, and one of your things to break the matrix that we're in is 520-741-8. And the reason I bring that out so much is because A, it works. B, it's a prayer, numerical prayer of completion. And if you want to give it more power, use the word shlama after it. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I do it every day. Now, if you want to give it even more power in the prayer, you could say 520-741-8 shlama, and then you can say hallelujah. You have just completed a prayer of completion. There are other prayers, numerical prayers that you can use. And I want to get into that. I'm probably going to do a show just on that, because the Grabavoichi code is very, very powerful. I can tell you the results of the 520-741-8 have been for me. It's been very powerful, and I got to start taking my own advice. So I'm going to ask for a prayer of completion. I'm going to do a prayer of completion for my grief. I don't want to be doing grief anymore. I want to be doing positive things for everybody. That's why by telling you the negative things, I can tell you, get your act together. If you look like that you could be an illegal, stay at home. Go to work. If you got to go to work, go to work. Get it over with. Okay, but stay at home. Don't go on vacation. Don't go to this. Okay, Curly asked a question. It says, I have no foreign currency. Do I need to go to Redemption Center? No. Dean Hunt, the vets would not touch her with your pug that had breathing problems. Yeah, that's when you need a holistic doctor, brother. I hear you. Now here's Ruby asked a question. If you're exchanging dong at a bank, do you need a trust? No, you don't need a trust. You can just go in. But here's what the deal is on the trust. If you want a trust with teeth, contact me. It's going to cost you some money, but it's a trust with teeth. If you want a free trust to just get through the exchange process, we've got one pinned at the top of Chance's live chat 2 group, private group. If you're not a member of the group, send me a request to chancemusic@yahoo.com. If you're just exchanging dong at a bank, do you need a trust? No, you don't. But if you're going to get the better rate, what it shows is that you are getting your act together. You have a trust. You're supposed to know how a trust works, even though you probably don't. I do. I know how a trust works. I've been teaching people for a while now. But if you want to know how a trust works, go watch YouTube videos. Okay? And if you got some Vietnamese dong left over from when you were over there, well, that's fine. But let me tell you something. Go on wise.com and spend $100 and buy some Vietnamese dong before it's too late. Okay? I just changed your life if you do that right now. Wise.com. Set up an account. I just changed your life if you do that. Wise.com is not only compliant, but Wise.com is now opening branch banks in the United States. They're doing the paperwork for it right now. And guess who's behind all that? Mr. T. Okay? Let's go in some more questions here. The RV is a week-by-week process is what Roy B. Demand. Yep, you're right. And everything is on a changing. Everything changes all the time. See, Kathy says at some point you'll get called in to the bank to get your Q card. You won't go to a bank. You'll go to a Redemption Center or a Wealth Management Center. If you're going business at a bank that's not compliant, then you might as well just give all your money to the cable guys. Okay? I'm not kidding. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen, this, I'll just call him a character. I feel bad for him. He's in a wheelchair. I feel bad for him. He lost $175,000 because I told him to get his money out of the bank. His bank failed. It went into receivership into another bank, which is bankruptcy for a bank. When a bank goes bankrupt and goes into receivership, it goes into another bank. I could help him, and I could hire another constitutional lawyer and go in and help him. But all the time I was doing these shows, and he was watching and he's listening, his wife was listening, he called me a conspiracy theorist. I don't know anything, and now he's lost $175,000. Okay? Fiat may be not worth a damn, but it's all we have right now. So we have to work with what we got, guys. But $175,000, and he's begging me to help him. I can't even start the process unless you pay me. You're asking me to work hours and hours and hours and bring in another constitutional lawyer just to do the paperwork. You're talking hours and hours, and you don't want it, but you don't have any money, but you're begging me to help you. I'm sorry, I really don't have a cape that I can put on, okay? I can't fly to your rescue and keep you from getting hit by a bullet. I can't, okay? You've already gotten hit by the bullet, and I warned you that the bullet was coming, and you didn't listen to me. You got nobody to blame. I am sorry, but yourself. I don't mean to be negative, and I don't mean to throw it out there. And yes, I am still upset, and I'm always going to be upset about losing my girl. But I'm trying to help people. Why can't they stop the chemtrails, Curly? That's a good question. Guess what? The chemtrails, some of the chemtrails that you are seeing in some of the states, and I don't know which ones, so don't ask me which ones, are neutralizing agents for the previous chemtrails. Okay, not all of them, but some of them. Okay, is the rapture for the evil ones? Curly, read the Bible. If you don't know what the rapture is, or pull up a video on YouTube so you can visualize it. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and answer that question. That is plain silliness. Okay, if you don't, if you're a living human being over 20 years old and you don't know what the rapture is, all I can say is good luck. 2 raptures, one for evil and one for good. Maybe. We really don't know. Just remember, it was men that wrote the Bible, and they let's see, what is the proper word I'm looking for here? They edited it to their benefit.
But it wasn't men.
It wasn't men?
It wasn't men. It's a layer of the astral that the people don't understand. Okay? That's why when I was saying earlier, when Chance came out, you have no idea how these thin paper sheet layers of existences are sandwiched and compressed and made to look like one single layer, which isn't true. If you can imagine, and I could give you the simplest idea from a physical side, because in a way it's kind of like a documentary. We don't know. I think it's cool as hell. Let's think of Jedis. Light, right? Jedis. Sith. So if you can imagine a realm, not on our playing field, with Sith lords. We don't know what the hell they look like. They could look like a Hydra, right? This giant beast with multiple heads and multiple ideas, and then they're slithering their frequencies on other existential realms, right? And lo and behold, they find this little pissed ant human-like being, wink, wink, on our planet, and they give him some clever ideas. Woohoo, I could create religion? Wow, that's awesome. So then they seal the deal, add their little slice, create our Gregors.
Brian, let me tell you something. If you don't go back and listen to what Brian's saying, you're missing out, and really concentrate on what he's saying, because he's hitting the nail on the head. Okay? Religion, organized religion, is a construct of man.
Yes, but
Okay.
what's clever is that the light also can see it within their sandwich layer. So when they see that serpent, that hydra, speaking in tongues and getting that guy in, then suddenly you see, I'll just say Michael. Actually, that's kind of clever because Michael has shown me what he has done on behalf. He would show them the mirrored version. So Source has its own ideas because of the law. It's a real law. The law is so real that it actually, from the base 12 math, it can be scientifically proven if our society was operating in base 12 math, but it's not. It's operating only on base 12. This law of mirrors is proven because it shows that you can mirror that realm, that existence. So these entities wanted to create a new paper thin and kind of like bring it onto our surface, which is the hellish scape. They were close, or you could say in one timeline, they won. Very successful. So if you can imagine, like, I can't remember that one movie. It's very old. It was by the horror book writer where like all the demons just came out of a story and started like eating the populace. It was by,
Stephen King. It was a Stephen King movie. I remember that.
I don't know if it was Stephen King. I think it was like by Neil Gaiman or something. The one who did I can't remember. It's like another author. It was like a really old movie, but it had the actor with the Jurassic Park in it. He played in it as the primary actor, as like the book writer. So, but what I'm trying to say is these ideas they get incorporated because from these other levels, Source creates this like very interesting algorithm, or maybe I would say something that influences that algorithm where all egregores are created on all thin slices. So we all are generated as some type of form of storytelling, but we at some point become solidified in our existence. And I'm talking about the costume, the energy. So there's enough of the limitless source to give everything mass and matter. And then all these entities will utilize all the costumes in play. So if you imagine the individual or this person right in the Bible, he's within the gray margin, right? So he's not light or dark. He's kind of in between, right? So he writes the script and he drops in frequency. So now he's matches the frequency to write the script. However, he feels conflicted because of his empathy, because he's like, I don't know, and the fear and the uncertainty. So then he's able to find himself and raise whoever's in that avatar just enough to, if you imagine now, an archangel comes in and gives him another type of perception. So therefore, new realms are generated and created within those paper thin margins. And then, of course, they sandwich on top of our realm. So we're really powerful, powerful creators. But what many of you have not really comprehended, I know a lot of people say, well, I don't understand what he's talking about because he just rambles on, is you're in control, ultimately. He says it. He says you are in control, but it's all emotions. So if you can navigate the emotional factor, you control the emotion. Be the observer, you will be on a different game board within those layers, those thin layers of reality. So it's important, even though we are going to see, like next week, probably something horrific, you can ascertain and say, you know what? as we keep moving on, I just say, I don't consent. I think life is precious. It should be cherished. It should be honored. It should be respected. And I will not live that or have that on my individual timeline. That's where you will truly shine as not only a spiritual being, but also as an astral warrior. And you will do greater good for your existence, for your existential realm, by vibrating and being that type of individual, assuming you can learn and teach yourself.
Brian, I got an answer here. Mall Babies 1 asks, I bought Dong on Wise and it shows both Dong and then Canadian total. When it revalues, do I need to transfer the Dong back into Canadian? No, leave it alone. Okay. If I was you, I'd transfer it into your wealth management center, not a bank. Okay. Here now, listen, Joey. Joey has this comment. He says, "Heard a bank story today. Woman asked teller why they are closed July 9th through the 14th, and asked teller if foreign currency can be exchanged. Teller said it's coming, and the bank was Basel III compliant, and that she was under an NDA. I know the woman that posted that story. So if you think nothing is happening, you are wrong. And if all you're thinking about is the money, I'm going to tell you what the money means to me right now in this particular point in my life. I know how much I'm getting, and it'll be more than probably 500 people combined. Big deal. All I'm going to do is turn it into positive energy, because if I had my way, if I was selfish and narcissistic, I would trade it all, every penny of it, back to get my Megan back. And so I've got to concentrate on doing good things. Okay? I've got to concentrate on getting my work done. I've got to concentrate on these other things, because the money means nothing without love. Without love, it doesn't mean anything. I tell you guys this at the end of the night. I love that dog with all my heart and soul. And I'm sorry. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to break down. I want to get some positive energy flowing right now. Doc G, would you please bring on Ann and Lillian if they're here? There they are. Lillian's been ringing my phone off for the last week, trying to get me out of my funk, and guess what? It ain't working, but I'm going to work on it. Okay. And these are the stem cell ladies, and if you want, after you hear the testimonies that you're going to hear, if you want to get a hold of the stem cell ladies, you can either contact Doc G, Fascinating Brian, or myself at our respective emails. Okay, if you don't have them by now, you're in trouble. I'm telling you that here, look. See that? X39. There's that. X49 right there. Yep. That's what they look like, guys. And they work. I don't know if anybody can see this or not. I'm going to turn everything over to them just a second. But look at my hair right here. See how dark it's getting? Right in there.
Yeah.
See my mustache? See how dark my mustache is getting? Okay, whether you like it or not, I'm reverse aging. And when I hit 40, I'm good there. Okay, that means I could work 12 hours without feeling like an old man. Okay, but I'll let you know when I'm good. But ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would like to present Dane, Lillian Walker, and Ann Ziegenhorn. Go, take it away, girls.
Hello. Hello, hello, Chance, Wyatt, Doc G, Fascinating Brian, and all the viewers out there. We are so happy and excited to be here today with you, and thank you for your time and attention, and for all you do, Chance. We appreciate you a great deal. You know that. We love you and support you.
And I wish to apologize to several people. I think there's been 4 or 5 of you who I've gone to email back, and at some point in time either got interrupted with a phone call, thought that I had sent a reply. So thank you for those of you who reached out again and said, hey, I haven't heard from the ladies. I would find the email in my draft pile. So if you have not heard back from us, I'm very good about reaching out within the first 14 hours of you sending an email. So if you have not heard, please reach out again, because it possibly went to I got interrupted. I am human and I do work full time.
Yeah, so if you don't hear back from us within 24 hours, for sure, you're not bothering us. We want to hear from you, but sometimes technology, it's kind of interesting. These 5G cell towers keep on popping up everywhere, and my internet is dropping more now that I have I have 2 5G cell towers that in November they put up like 3 blocks from where I live. Now my internet seems to drop more, and we have more power outages since they put those up. Go figure. So that being said, we are here to help and support you. We have some exciting testimonies. We're not going to show the videos here. You can always go to my YouTube channel to watch them. But there was one that I was in particular very excited and saw on Tuesday, because we have a meeting every Tuesday with Dr. Stacy, which Doc G now, I know that he had an interview with her earlier this week. But during that interview, we had a gal that was named Beverly, and she was hit by a car 2 years ago. And Beverly had 2 broken discs in her neck, and she had a lot of pain and dysregulation in her body from that. When you get hit by a car or a bus, or you have any kind of a trauma, especially when you suffer, brain injury, because everybody who gets hit by a car, they may not diagnose you, but if we were to do a brain scan on every person who's been hit by a car, it shows up in the brain scan. That being said, when you damage your brain, that's your central processing unit. That's your computer to run your entire body. So things are going to fail. Certain systems are not going to work the way they're supposed to. So you're going to have a lot of other system dysregulation. And so one of the things that Beverly had, she of course had high blood pressure. She had AFib, which is from the accident. It wasn't from something prior to that. She also had high cholesterol, because her body's not digesting and methylating the way it's supposed to. So now 2 years, it didn't take 2 years for her to start to receive the benefit, but 2 years later, she's 100% good. She's all fine. If you would have seen her on the video, it was awesome. But she talks about how she just had blood tests the week before, just a few days before. And in that blood test, it showed that her cholesterol had dropped 50 points. And now she's not on metoprolol anymore. She's no longer basically on heart medication. She's not on statins. She's not on cholesterol meds. She's been able to get rid of a lot of the meds that prior to she had to be on. And if you would have seen her, if you go to DameLillianWalker.com, that'll take you to the YouTube channel. You'll see the last 2 videos. You'll see those 2 testimonials. You'll see Dr. Stacy in one, and then you'll see Beverly in the video right next to her. And both of those videos are no more than 2.5 minutes long. And you'll be able to see their entire story of transformation. So this little tiny, what looks like a sticker or a Band-Aid, make no mistakes, it's the most powerful device to repair, to restore, to regenerate your body to a younger, healthier state. And it's a device. It's not medicine. Anne, do you want to share any testimonials that you might have? I know you get them every day as well. And congratulations, girl. Since I was on this last, you promoted to senior director like Chance.
Yes, I caught up with you, Chance, even though I'm above you. So, I had I went on boating over 4th of July, and a family who'd never heard of the patches, and they had a 17-year-old daughter with them, and she was having her cycle, so she was cramping. And my friend looked at me and she said, "Hey, will a patch work for that?" And I was like, "Yes, it does, because my daughter's told me it does." And so I patched her. She was in a swimsuit, mind you. So we just put it below her belly button where the bikini was, and we just put it on there. And I mean, within 3 minutes, the girl goes, "Oh my gosh, what is this thing?" And I go, "Why?" And she said, "I have no more pain. I'm completely out of pain." So her boyfriend had hurt his back on the wave runner. So I patched his back, and his eyes went really big, and he looked at his parents and he said, "I have no pain." And he hurt his back the day before on the wave runner. And so he wasn't going on the wave runner that day. So he ended up on the wave runner later and had absolutely zero pain. And then the dad had some issues going on. And so he said, I hurt my shoulder and my neck. And so I patched him, and they are just like floored. So just, a whole family to see results immediately. And pain is one of the ones that typically, as long as we put them in the right spot. So if somebody patches and we're having to talk you through it over the phone, just know that all we have to do is move positions until we find the spot that gives you 50 to 100% relief.
Exactly. I love the fact that the patches work so efficiently and so effectively on everyone. Doesn't matter if you're a human or a mammal. And on my plane ride back last week from Chicago, because I was in Chicago for 7 days, it just so happens, God has a funny sense of humor. Because when I sat down in my seat, I had the window seat, and there were two ladies to my left. And so I asked the lady to the farthest left, I said, the aisle seat, I said, "Hi, I'm Lillian. What's your name and your name?" And she said, "Oh, my name's Michelle." The other gal said her name was Nellie. So I said, "Michelle, what do you do?" And she says, "Well, I fund stem cell research." I said, "Oh my gosh, no way. You fund stem cell research?" I go, "I'm a stem cell activation specialist." And then the girl in the middle said, "Oh my gosh, I deal with stem cells and 3 different doctors." I'm like, "You're kidding me." And it was like, statistically, to have an entire plane and for us to sit all 3 in a row, that it's a God wink, right? So we started talking. We were all very excited. And then Michelle needed to get some shut-eye because she hadn't slept in a couple of days. And then we were going to do our quiet time because it's, a bit of a ride from Chicago to California, to Orange County. And then all of a sudden I saw Nellie with her hands on both sides of her temple, and she was just rubbing, and she had her eyes closed and she was rubbing her temples. And I said, "Nellie, are you okay?" And she said, "I have the worst migraine. And when I get these migraines, they usually last like at least 3 days. And it's just," I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you do?" I said, "I actually have stem cell activation patches with me in my purse. If you'd like, I go, no cost. I can patch you right now." She's like, "You're willing to do that for me?" I said, "Absolutely." I pulled out my X39 and the Ice Wave, and then I showed her the patch, which now I have here on my chest. I was showing you guys a minute ago. And I showed her, this is the X39. This is the mother stem cell activation patch. We're going to put that on your neck bump, because that point, that bump on the back of your neck, that's governing vessel 14. It's one of the most powerful acupressure points on the body, because your brainstem branches down into your spinal column to signal your entire body. So we're going to put the first one there. And then I took out a tan patch and a white patch of Ice Wave. And then I put the tan one on her left temple and the white patch on her right temple. So then I'm like, okay, let's, she's in pain. She's got a migraine, so let's let her be quiet. I said, "Make sure you drink a glass of water." So she drank her glass of water. And then I waited about 10 or 15 minutes. Everything was real quiet and calm. And then I looked over to her and I said, "How are you doing?" She goes, "You're not going to believe this, but I don't have a migraine anymore. It's gone." And I'm trying to make sense, because nothing I've ever taken, whether it's, by prescription or over the counter, nothing works. And usually I struggle with the migraine for 3 days, and I can feel the energy moving throughout my entire body now. And I'm just kind of tripping that this works so quickly. She goes, "We need to talk, and I need to introduce you to the doctors that I work." This gal owns a med spa, and that she works with these 3 doctors through her med spa. And then she told me about her med spa, and it gets better. Not only does she own that med spa, she works with those 3 doctors. It turns out that she has a show on Iranian TV because she's Iranian. And so she does health stuff on Iranian TV as well, this health show. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I've met with her, maybe half a dozen times since I got back from Chicago. But all that to say was that we had that, there's another testimonial of a gal who I was able to confirm that in less than 15 minutes, she was able to get relief. And instead of wasting 3 days of being in pain, she now is like completely fine. All I had to do was offer her and let her know that I had the patches on me and if she's willing to be patched. And of course she said yes. So my friends and gems, no one is so special that this doesn't work on you. It works on everybody. If you're alive, of course on dead people, it's not going to work. Well, we know that it can bring dead bugs back to life because Bobby had that experience. So, but that's an insect. It's not in mammals. So that's an anomaly. But for humans and for mammals, cats, dogs, horses, we know that it works on all of us because we all have stem cells from conception. This is just the on switch. So if anybody has any questions, Anne, do you want to, or maybe Wyatt and Doc G and Chance can see whatever questions, and then Anne and myself can answer those questions.
Well, I actually do have one to get clarification because I do actually get this question a lot. So even if I'm on chemo and radiation, how will the patches affect or work or not work?
So you want me to, I can answer it, or do you want to answer it?
No, I want you to answer it.
Okay, so I want you, so this, I love this question, believe it or not, because from the get-go, we had this question come up at the very beginning when I first started coming up to using the patches. And I was making my way reading through all 90 scientific research papers at the time. And, from not just my experience in applied physics and genetics and organic chemistry and biophysiology and all that kind of stuff, but you'd be surprised at the number of doctors that were, and I don't want to belittle just, just an MD. It's not just an MD. It takes a lot to get an MD. We just happen to be in a group where we have MDs that also have 1, 2, 3, 4 PhDs. They're like super achievers. You know what? It's not even that they're super achievers. It's just that they won't take no for an answer. They didn't get their answers with an MD, so they kept going. And that's why they got, they don't need another PhD, but they do need the knowledge that they can get from getting that PhD. So the bottom line is this. One of the first arguments that I remember hearing some of the MDs saying, it's like, no, you don't want to put the patches on if you're doing chemo or radiation because when you're doing chemo and radiation, it's going to kill all your stem cells and you have no stem cells. I'm like, wait a minute. No, that's not true. If you have 0 stem cells, you're dead. So that's not true. And at a time when your body needs the most activation of glutathione, the most immune system increase, because glutathione increases your immune system, antivirals, something called anti-neoplastins that keeps the infection from cancers from multiplying, proliferating, and growing. More than ever, you need it if you're in chemo and radiation. So just to compare and contrast, from day one, I told my people that were stage 3, stage 4, metastasized cancer to the bones, even in the brain. I'm like, on the Fantastic 5. And of course, they have to drink their water. And every single one of those people, I thought it was going to take about a year, to be honest with you. But every single one of those people, and we don't make medical claims. We're not telling you that it's going to take this time frame. But I've had from 5 weeks to 6 to 7 months, most people have their first PET scan, and it shows that they're completely clear from whatever cancer, even when they've had it in their bones. And the PET scan shows that there's no trace even in the bones, which is a big deal. So, and then I also recommend that you check with your doctor, your oncologist, and find out, once you get the clear that your PET scan says that you no longer have evidence of that anywhere in your body, no cancer in the body, in the bones, in the cells, anywhere, because they scan head, they start from the head and they go all the way down. And the report goes section by section by section with the findings. And if there's any trace amount anywhere, it'll tell you, but we get a clear scan. So I tell people, find out how long before that doctor will say you're in remission. And some of them won't say, well, we'll have to see. Or others will say, well, I want to see at least 18 months to 2 years of you being in remission or having clear PET scans before I will say that you're in remission. And I tell people, you got to stay on the patches until you get that you're in official remission. Why? Because whatever it was that's in your environment that caused that cancer is still in your environment, because most people don't move when they're in that state of life where they've been diagnosed and now they're doing chemo, they're doing radiation, they're doing either or both. So whatever caused that is still there. If you're still eating the same, you still have the same environmentals, then you're going to have a relapse, even though you're clear now. 6 months later or a year later, you can have a relapse because you're being reinfected. But 2 to 3 years is enough time to give your body enough strength where you've turned over the majority of the 56 trillion cells of the body. Now your body is solid. It might get it again, but your body is going to be much stronger, and it's going to be able to withstand it much better. And it'll take longer for you to, your body's basically being reversed age, 15, 20, 25 years younger, but a younger, healthier version of yourself. Okay. So that's the answer. Yes. Even if you do chemo and radiation, still wear the patches, because you need to be able to detox more efficiently to be able to withstand those treatments so that you have the least side effects and so that your body can repair and regenerate itself. And drink lots of water, because that's paramount for detoxification.
Let's talk about that water thing for a minute, okay?
Okay.
Now, this is very important to me, okay? Because I know about structured water. I have studied water. I've prayed on water. I have seen benefits of just plain old distilled water and prayer, positive energy. But what I want is I want one of these water machines. And you guys both know I want one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we do. Dr. Stacy just got her machine, by the way.
Who did? Oh, did she really?
She got her machine, and if you want to come to the leadership the last Saturday in July, Ann and I are going to be at Dr. Stacy's beach house. She's bringing the water machine to the beach house. You earned a spot because you're a senior director, so if you wanted to come, even if you only wanted to come for a day or two, you could do that. You just need to let us know so that they save a spot for you, so you have, because lodging, food, everything is covered. But you would be able, because she's going to have herself, there's going to be 2 water machines at the beach house. So all of us are going to get to try that structured, programmed, bio-infused with biomodulation.
I'm already sold, okay? Because I've studied about this water. Not this water in particular, but I have studied other waters. And with the, I'm the poster boy for reverse aging. I'm 74 years old in October. I'm the poster boy for reverse aging. If you don't think so, go back to when this show started and look and see how my face looked. And see the growth and the color change in my hair and the complexion of my face.
And you don't have the dark.
Me hanging down skin like old people do, Yeah, I mean, look at my hands, for God's sakes. I mean, look at my hands. Do you see the hands of an old man?
Right.
I don't either. And most of them are all. I got a scratch from the other night, so I got some bite marks. But no, serious. I'm the poster boy for reverse aging, and when my hair gets completely black, it's going to be because I didn't diet. I don't have the time. I don't have the inclination. I don't have the energy to do it. But I'm going to tell you something. Real quick testimonial. Just talked to Maria number 1 today. Her mom set up and was like this. She was just paying attention to everything that was going on TV and everything she was doing, and very bright-eyed and paying attention. Now, this may sound like no big deal, but we're talking about a lady that's kind of comatose most of the time, and she told me, she says her eyes are so bright and aware and awake. So, I can't wait for her to get her patches again. And she's because she's almost out. So we need to get her. We need to get those patches to her. And
We ordered them.
just tell you, I don't talk to that many people that are using the patches. I should, but I just don't have the time. And of course, since this, I'm trying to pull myself out of this, guys. I really am trying hard, but when I get off the show tonight, I'm going to fall apart. And but I want you guys to know that I believe in the water machine, and I've never had a taste of it. I
Neither
believe
have
in it.
I.
Let me ask you a question about the water machine. This is very, very important. Now, if I have the water machine here at my house, is it going to? And I know I'm only supposed to drink two glasses a day, one in the morning and one at the night, right?
Yeah, and don't drink more than that.
But no, earlier in the afternoon, he said don't drink it past a certain time because it does give you energy.
Yeah, you won't be able to go to sleep. And you can't drink more. David, our scientist, already talked about you cannot drink more than two. It's kind of like blowing out a fuse. It's too much light for your body, and your body will kick back, and you don't want to go through that. So
I get it. 2
glasses of water. It takes 45 minutes to process 2 8-ounce glasses of water. And so it's designed so that you and your partner, you and whoever else is in there, can also drink.
Okay, I get it. But this is my question. So if I have somebody that I need to experience this water, can I fill up a gallon jug with it and give them the same instructions and pass it on to them?
Well, the machine only does 2 8-ounce glasses of water, and it takes 45 minutes to create 16 ounces of water. So you won't be able to do a gallon of, you'd have to do 45 minutes, 45 minutes, 45 minutes, 45 minutes, and 8 ounces each time. So that's, as the machine in the future, he will be, always refining it. You don't have to get a new machine. The there's basically the filter just changed once a year, and then the programming of the machine with the software upgrade, it will be able to improve its performance as he makes modifications to it. So it's like your investment. It's not like it's obsolete after a certain period of time. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, just as long as I can pass it on to people, to people locally, and maybe give them a gallon or even send Maria.
You won't be able to do a gallon. Yeah, you won't be able to do a gallon. You'll be able to do 8 or 16 ounces. But what you probably want to do is have people come over to your house maybe every hour on the hour, because you'll have 15 minutes in between, water going into there.
I think what he's asking is, sorry, Lillian. I think what he's asking is if he took all of that and filled a gallon jug and gave it to them, and then they would have that gallon jug, and then he just gave them the instructions. So would that, I guess the question
you can't get a gallon of it because it's only 16 ounces per 45 minutes that the machine generates. And then the water is only stabilized. I need to find out I'll have to look at the research studies. The water is only stable where you're going to get the maximum, all the studies were done where the people took the water straight from the machine and drank it. They didn't wait an hour or 2 or 3. You can't ship the water. Yeah, you can't ship the water. That's why it took 10 years to develop the machine, because they could get the energetic components to be stable for a short period of time, but it wouldn't last more than 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It would lose its efficiency. So that's why the water comes out of the machine, and then the subjects have drunk the water within 10 minutes of it coming out of the machine.
Okay, guys, what I want to do now is my email is chancemusic@yahoo.com. Doc's email is what, Doc? Give us your email.
It's GDPent, GDPENT1 @yahoo.com.
GDP ENT
1 @yahoo.com.
@yahoo.com. And Brian, what is your email address?
all lowercase, Blackmore B369 @gmail.com.
Okay. You can contact whatever person you want to, and they will send you over to Ann or Lillian, and they will get you signed up for the patches. Okay. You don't have to necessarily do it through me. You can do it through these two gentlemen too, or Wyatt. And
Or Wyatt.
Wyatt's email, if you're in Australia, is wyattofearp@mail.com. That's WYATTOFEARP@mail.com. Okay, if you're in Australia or Europe or something, you get faster service by going through Wyatt there. Okay.
May I say something?
Yeah.
One last thing. I wanted to make sure that everybody was clear on this because Anne and I and Chance, any of you starting on the patches, we all get benefit from you starting on the patches, whether your back office shows that you were enrolled by Wyatt or by Doc G or by Brian, Fascinating Brian. Chance gets benefit from all of it. So I don't want you to think that you're cutting Chance out because your personally enrolled shows either Doc G or Fascinating Brian or Wyatt. No, Chance benefits from all of it, as does Anne and as do I. So I want to make sure that you guys are clear on that. And then last but not least, there's two exciting things because Brian and I have been talking quite a bit this week. Brian is going to be, he's in the Boston area and he's going to be doing more live events out in Boston. So you can actually see Brian in person. So if you live in Boston, reach out to Brian and then you can come out and meet him in person. Not only can he patch you, but he can help you. And so I want to, and then you can bring your friends along too that you want to introduce them to the patches. When you bring your friends, they will be personally enrolled by you. You'll get a product introduction bonus, but Brian and the entire team, we all benefit. The entire Hamilton radio team benefits from that. So just so that you guys start to understand that that is another possibility. And then in closing, for those of you who want to know when my next info question and answer session is on Zoom, all you have to do is text patches, the word patches, and just enter, instead of a phone number, you just enter 26786 and it'll send you when the next Zoom calls are, and it'll have a graphic and the Zoom link for you to join the Zooms because I do the Zooms basically daily, Monday through Friday. Thank you, Chance.
Oh, thank you, ladies. I appreciate you. And get my machine to me as soon as possible.
I know.
And Chance, as soon as you get a free minute, send me your CVV and Maria's patches will be on their way.
We already did that yesterday. I did that yesterday.
Oh, you did Maria's?
I did Maria's.
Oh,
Okay,
great.
good.
I checked your email for the invoice.
Thanks, ladies. I love you guys.
Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful night. Thanks,
Love
everybody.
you guys.
Thank you.
And guys, at the end, this is the end of the show now, but I have intel. Okay, RV intel. This is what you wait for. So here it is. Bernadette, make sure you write this down and put this on the page. I know she's listening, and sorry I haven't talked to you this week. I'm too much of a mess. From the intake officer, we are pleased to share a significant development during a specialized operational conference held last night. It was officially confirmed that both of the U.S. Treasury, that's the Republic U.S. Treasury, and the Republic Department of Defense.
I think he froze again.
Yep, he did. But don't worry, folks. I'm sure he'll be back to give his final message of the night.
Okay, I'm going to read that last part again. We are pleased to share a significant development during a specialized operational conference held last night. It was officially confirmed that both the U.S. Treasury and the Department of Defense, both for the Republic of the United States, have given the final authorization for payments. Okay, I got this Tuesday night. So you are going to be seeing and hearing things happening very, very soon. Okay, all I need you to do is just put your hands together, close your eyes, pray, give positive energy, and I thank you for your prayers that you have given me. Fascinating Brian, what are your final thoughts for tonight?
My final thoughts aren't my own. So once again, big man upstairs is saying, be more like astral warriors from here on out. State your statements. What you don't like, don't give it any ideas. Mirror it differently. And just be. Be dignified. Be of grace. Be of gratitude. And most important, be respectful for all things. That's it.
Doc G, what's your final thoughts for tonight, brother?
My final thoughts are, listen, people, don't worry about sending certain things for certain people. If you want to send donations, you can send them to Help the Radio through Chance. That's fine. He'll send them to me. He's done that in the past. And I appreciate everything, whether you send him money as well, and Brian as well, it still helps us as well. So don't even, I do like Lillian said, it doesn't matter. Whoever you want to send it, you can. But my real thoughts are, help each other through this, whatever we go through. What Chance is going through right now is very hard because he's dealing with a death in his family. Just like you had a close relative or a spouse or somebody pass away, it's very rough. And we're all going through tough times in some way, one way or another. So just reach out, help others, and treat each other with respect and care. Doesn't matter the political party, just stay on the side of God. And that's what it is.
All right, folks. Thank you for everything that you've done for me, for your donations you've sent, and all the kind words, and some of the specialized emails with special gifts, special images that I can use to raise my vibrations. Not going to lie to you, it's going to take me a long time to get over this. I could literally write a book over the last 2 years that Megan was in my life, and my whole life was wrapped up around her, taking care of her, giving her medicine, her special food, her vitamins. By the way, Doc Wiedemann wasn't here this evening, so I will endorse Doc Wiedemann's longevity products, and we all do. And Fascinating Brian uses the minerals. Doc G uses the longevity products, and even Megan used them because I put the minerals on her dog food. And it's going to be really rough for me to get over this. I'm not in it, and I don't know how I'm going to be emotional, but I'm going to try to keep myself busy. For anybody that has sent money for the vet bill, thank you. Very grateful and appreciative. We still have the RV protocol papers. They're $50. There it is right there. It's on the screen. chancemusic@yahoo.com is my email. I'm trying, when I go to bed, what I'm doing is I'm trying to plan out my day.
Yep, guess he froze again.
Yeah. We're almost done. Thank God. It's been a trying night. You back, Chan?
Yeah, I'm back. When I go to bed at night, I tried planning out my next day. Now, the dogs have been, I don't know why they don't want me to sleep in, but they've been getting me up at 6:30 in the morning. So by 5:30 at night, I'm whipped. But we've been doing a lot of work around the house and working on Jody's house, and we've been getting some things done, and I'm very happy about that, but I've got to keep myself busy. I will be coming on Telegram Sunday night on my special private channel. If you want to be part of it, send me an email to chancemusic@yahoo.com. Wyatt, we missed you tonight. Was really looking forward to hearing from you. I did get a statement from a gentleman in Australia who had a huge debt erased. So we got to hope that Gasara is happening in Australia now, or at least starting to see parts of it. I don't know what else to tell you except I love you guys. Thanks for coming by. Thank you, Fascinating Brian. Thank you, Doc G. Without you guys, it'd just be me up here blowing my own horn, and it gets a little old after a while. But guys, you got to be good to each other. You got to love each other and give the positive energy and the prayers, and you know, I appreciate the prayers that you're sending me, and I don't know what else to say except I see you guys Sunday night, Tuesday night, 5 o'clock, and I'll see you next Thursday. I am working on getting a very special guest, and
Don't say names in
no,
case.
I'm not going to. You
Yeah,
know who it is.
no more names.
Yeah, no more names, but you know who it is, and it's very special. He's a very special individual. So Doc knows who it is, but I'm working on getting him on, and that last week with Princess Elizabeth was phenomenal, and we got so much good information, and I was honored to have her on my show. I could go on and on and on. So somebody tell me to shut up. I'll tell you what, I'll just leave you guys with this. All you need is love. Love is all you need. I love you all. I love you, Brian. I love you, Doc. I love you, Wyatt, wherever you are. Debbie, I love you. I love the Stem Cell ladies and Doc Wiedemann. Love you guys all. I'll see you all next Thursday night right here on Hamilton Radio 1 on YouTube. I'm Chance McFadden, and you know who you are. God bless you.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.